Now we move on to Russia and Ukraine. Russian strikes near Ukraine's capital have killed 2 people and wounded several others, according to regional military officials. The latest attack brings the death toll from overnight strikes across Ukraine to at least 12 people. 5 of those killed were passengers on a civilian train, which was hit by a Russian drone in the northeast. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has condemned the attacks as terrorism, saying they are undermining peace efforts and ongoing U.S.-brokered talks. The strikes have also knocked out power to hundreds of thousands, leaving civilians without electricity in freezing winter conditions. Despite diplomatic talks held last week and more planned, strikes has continued heavy drone and missile attacks across the country as well. Now for this discussion, we welcome Mr. Colonel Sanjit Sirohi. He's an international relations and defense expert, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Colonel, for joining us. Good to see you. Now, looking at this, how do you think, how is this, ongoing escalating attacks jeopardizing the ceasefire efforts that's been done from all parties?
Good morning, Usuma.
Good morning.
First of all,
Yes.
Thank you very much for having me on this channel for discussing something very, very important. Now, as you see, in last 24 hours, there have been 12 people who have been killed, and especially what is alarming is the attack on a train in the northeast, in the Kharkiv region, where 5 people have died and a number of them have been injured. So Zelensky is absolutely right when he called this a terrorism or act of terror. And it is undermining the efforts to end the war. On the one hand, there are peace talks going on that we just had 2 days of peace talks on Friday and Saturday in Abu Dhabi, and the next round of talks are being planned for 1st February, for which Mr. Zelensky has said that it should be preponed so that the Russians, they are brought to the negotiating table and the war comes to an end as early as possible. But what I see is that as the talks are getting closer, the Russians are striking again and again because they have not been able to achieve their objective, which was to take over the complete Donbas region. And that is the main point of contention between the two parties. So I think this escalation will keep on going on till the peace deal is finalized. Asuma.
Right. So why do you think that Russia is intensifying, attacks now? Some of our guests have suggested that before the ceasefire happens, they want to take as much territory as possible. That's their intention. What's your take on that, Colonel?
Absolutely, Asuma. I fully agree with the guests who have said that. The main aim is that if you see the objective of Russia's offensive or military operation, as they call it, was to take the Donbas region complete. Now, so far, they have been able to take only 90% of that, and still the 10% is left. And their main agenda is that they are going to capture the complete Donbas region unless Zelensky agrees to hand over the complete Donbas region to Russians. The Russians will keep on escalating so that they ensure that Zelensky accepts their demand as early as possible. So this escalation is not going to end on 1st February. If the talks are further delayed, then this escalation will keep on moving till Russia has achieved their military objective, that is of taking the complete Donbas region. So Zelensky has to be prepared for that. Now the choice between Zelensky has is either to hand over the complete Donbas region or keep on fighting and keep on losing and keep on having a lot of casualties every day. Asuma.
And Colonel, so as we know that trilateral talks used to take place elsewhere, like Turkey, Alaska, and now they've moved to UAE, a Middle Eastern country. Do you think the locations matter and the mediation efforts by UAE makes any difference from the mediation efforts that was being done by US in comparison?
Look, if you look at that, now this was the first time when they met on 23rd January and 24th January, when all the 3 parties, that is United States, Ukraine, and Russian delegation they met, and that included the military officials also. So I think it was quite a serious issue, and why Abu Dhabi has been this thing selected for these talks. I think it is the neutral country where all the three countries have good relation with Abu Dhabi. So I think that must be the reason that they have selected this place as a neutral place. Asuma.
Right. And also, do you think that U.S., before it was always a bilateral, right? U.S. was in the middle always, but now that it's become trilateral, all these three parties are in the table. Do you think it was because U.S. pushed their agenda too hard to both parties when they were using U.S. as a channel or mediator, or do you think there were other reasons that now it's a trilateral?
Look, the problem what is there is that initially the talks were between the Americans and the Russians. So the Ukrainians were not involved, and it was quite funny also that the party who is fighting the war was not included. Because initially when the proposal were given, it was pro-Russian proposal which Ukrainian had not agreed to it. And secondly, since USA has to give the security guarantee after the peace deal has been brokered, so that is the reason why USA is also involved. Unless Zelensky is completely sure and confident that Americans will give him security guarantee after the peace deal has been brokered, till then I think USA is going to play a very important role. And secondly, USA is trying to pressurize Mr. Zelensky to agree to the demands of Russia, and that the main demand, which is the bone of contention, is about the territory. So which Zelensky is not ready to. In fact, he says that the territory issue should be respected by all the parties. So that is the main bone of contention. Only one point has been left out, and that is the territory. Until Mr. Zelensky agrees to hand over that Donbas region to Russians, I don't think any peace deal will be brokered. Asuma.
Thank you very much, Colonel, for sharing that insight. Please stay with us as we come back to you for later discussion.